Monday, folks, and we are getting ready for the Lions and Chargers. Finally, off the bye week. Lions are healthy. We're going to talk about Dan Campbell. He just did a press conference, takeaways that I took from it. A lot of good news because it's a lot of health information. Very important for our Detroit Lions to get healthy. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting, so I think this is going to be the healthiest the Lions been since week one. Really, really good thing. So let's go ahead and get this thing. Lions head coach Dan Campbell just got done with the press conference talking about multiple issues, one being the health, and they did kind of a walkthrough today. And guess what? Everybody that's been injured that you can think of, Big V, Halapaludi, Vati Vaitai, Jonah Jackson, left guard right there, David Montgomery, Frank Ragnow. These players that's been missing time were all on the field doing their quote-unquote walkthroughs, and that's a fantastic news. Dan Campbell's asked about it, and he says, yeah, I believe these guys will be good to go. So it looks like the Lions are going to be healthy, the healthiest that they've been since week one, and we need it. That bye week just could not come at such a perfect time for the Lions to get healthy. Having David Montgomery out there is going to be really important in the starting offensive line. And they're asked about Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, and like Dan Campbell stated, he said that every single week Jahmyr Gibbs is getting better, better, and better, so he's going to get his touches. David Montgomery is going to get his touches. And I think it's going to be more of I wouldn't say split exactly, but maybe who's getting the hotter hand a little bit for that run game. And you're going to see more Jahmyr Gibbs on the field. But David Montgomery is not going to not get snaps. And he's got to get snaps. The great is a fantastic running back, and he will get his snaps, just depending how much. And my theory is probably more of a game-by-game, who's the hot hand, who's doing the mismatch there, all of that. He talked about the Chargers, that they'll look a little bit at tonight's game, but it seems like their game plan against the Chargers kind of already been done, and how they're looking at it and how to defeat the Chargers. And he talked about the importance of getting hot right now. It's time to play your best football. And it's cool that we got the 6-2, but it's time really to square up, play your best football. And we can't be messing up in the red zone. We got to get the touchdowns. We can't be doing penalties. It's time to play the best football. And like he said, the Minnesota Vikings been winning. They're playing their best football. He talked about teams who now are playing their best football. You're going to see them jockeying for spots. The teams that just got there, you're going to start to see them starting to fall off a little bit. And that is 100% correct. It's getting into that witching time for football teams. It's make or break for them. If you want to be a contender, it's time to start winning now and playing like a contender. We can't have games where we're letting off the gas. We can't have where, you know what, we're going to take a field goal here, a field goal there. No, it's time to get touchdowns. It's time to really put your foot on the throat against these teams and play your best football. You're going up to L.A. It's not going to be an easy game. Now, their defense is not that great. One of the worst defenses in all of football, but they got a good offense, and it's a road game for the Detroit Lions. So you do got to play your best football. You got to have your best players out there. You got to be able to score points. You got to win games. You have to. You have to continue this win streak because the Vikings are right on your tail. They're at 5 wins, so the Lions got to keep winning. And he talked about it's like a 3-game season right now because you got 3 games in 11 days. The Chargers, Bears, and Packers. That's what the Lions are pretty much focused on right now. And look, to me, I think the Chargers is probably the hardest team right now, obviously, to face. The Chargers are an offense, to me, that can strike at any moment. They're a Jekyll and Hyde team. They can play really good. They can play bad. But they have the ability to play an elite offense and score really quick. They absolutely do. So the Detroit Lions can't be taking field goals in this game. You got to score, touchdown, 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 because if you allow the Chargers to stay in the game, they can score really quick on you. The Chicago Bears, they're in a mess. They play on Thursday, and then we play them after that. We don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback. Could it be Tyson Bagent? Could it be Justin Fields? But that team is in a issue right now, and the Lions are hosting them. They should be able to smack them up a little bit. And if you watch the Packers game, the Packers are they're an abysmal football team. I'm going to keep it 100 here. I think that the Bears are actually better than the Packers. The Packers They look bad. I think it was in the third quarter, 7-3. And they're going against a quarterback who never played before for the Rams. He just kept turning the football over. So, yeah, they eventually won 20-3, but my goodness, that was it's an atrocious team. So the Lions, this is one of the games of the Chargers. It's going to be difficult, but I think after that, the Lions should win the next 2 games. But if the Lions win on Sunday, that's huge. That's huge toward the season because I think the Lions, they can beat Bears and Packers. So if you beat the Chargers, you can go 3-0. You go from 6-2 to 9-2, and that is really, really nice. Really nice. Got to keep the foot on the pedal. You got to do it. It's time to play like a playoff contender. It's time to be a contender. The time is now. We can't be doing the Raiders type of games where we're just, we make a mistake here. No, we can't be doing that anymore. It's time to really play good football. It's time to put everything that we can and all the chips on there and start beating these teams the way that we need to beat these teams and get ready for the playoffs and get that momentum swing. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. We need to keep winning as it gets colder and colder, so when the playoffs hits, the Lions got the momentum, can host and win a playoff game. That's what it's all about, folks. Look, it seems like the Detroit Lions right for sure make the playoffs, right? It seems like they're going to win the NFC North. But it's not just winning the NFC North. You need to win a playoff game. We need to take this team to the next level. That's what we need to do. And it's time for these players and the coaches to take it up a notch. And Dan Campbell's very well aware of that. So is the whole team. You got players like Jared Goff who's been to a Super Bowl. He knows what it takes to win now, at the end of the year. And they did it last year. Shoot, Lions won 8 out of 10, and it was just kept winning. It was going up. So, for sure. And I like the attitude of this head coach. And we're not loving ourselves, right? Oh, we're the unbeatable Detroit Lions. That's not the case at all. We got to do game by game. We got to take every team seriously, even if the team is not good, like the Bears or the Packers. We don't, as fans, have to take them serious. But the players and the coaches absolutely do because we can't afford to take a loss. We got to keep winning. You have to win, build that momentum, and make it a norm for the Detroit Lions to win these football games. Happy to see the press conference. Happy to see all these players coming back. So important because we have been riddled with injuries, and we still won. But now what is it going to look like when we got all our guys back? It's going to be really good. And he also talked about Donovan Peoples-Jones, getting him acclimated, getting the playbook. It's great that we traded him on a bye week, so he's going to have some time to understand some plays. So maybe he can come out there and help out in the red zone. And that's what Dan Campbell's talking about. We got to get better in the red zone. And I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is a player who absolutely can help in the red zone. He's a player that we didn't have, right? He's he's 6'2", he's physical, he's a big body guy, and that's a good piece to the Lions offense, and it's going to help out in the red zone. You have players like him, and you have a full range on offense now. This offense should be able to score touchdowns at will at this point. This is what we want to see. Jahmyr Gibbs running, passing. You got Sam Laporta. You got Donovan Peoples-Jones, Monroe St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond. He talked about Khalif Raymond needs to get in special teams. He's so close to make a break because we haven't had a big-time special teams moment for us to get ground like we did last year where Khalif scored a touchdown at the Jets game. So, great news for the Lions. Love hearing about the health. This is perfect. Tonight, you do got Chargers and Jets. Now, we need to pay attention to this game. We need to watch this game. What can we take away? What is the Jets is a great defense. Can they slow down Justin Herbert? What are things the Lions can take away from this game to slow this offense down? Defensively, it's going to be a problem. And Justin Herbert is mobile, folks. He's a mobile quarterback. And he is a gunslinger, and he can put that ball in any tight window. Extremely good and a strong arm. But their defense can be had. The Lions offense should be able to put up over 30 points in this team. Maybe even get to 40. That's the type of offense that we have and compare. When we have one of the best offenses, they have one of the worst defenses in all of football. It's a mismatch. Lions need to be able to score, but it is an away game, so it's going to be a little more difficult. But again, there's a mismatch as well because Justin Herbert is a mobile quarterback, and we've had issues with the mobile quarterback. And it's not just he's mobile. This dude can pass. Like, this is not a joke. He's a really good passing quarterback. Lions are favored right now by 1 point, and I hope we win, but this could be one of those quote-unquote trap games, right? So we can't take the Chargers lightly. I'm sure not taking them lightly. Watch them tonight. Watch what they do and what the Lions can do, because we got to win this game. We have to win this game. The Eagles are 8-1. We got to keep winning. It's a lot of pressure because you got the Vikings winning, you got the Eagles winning. We have to keep winning, or else we could fall dramatically, right, in the seeding. Or, if somehow the Vikings keep winning with Joshua Dobbs and losing all their players, they're a little competition right now for the NFC North. I still think the Lions are heavy favorites to win the NFC North. I think they should be. We got to face the Vikings. I think the Lions will beat the Vikings twice. I think we're just a better football team than they are. But it's not there yet. And that's a long ways to go. That's the end of the year. So Lions got to keep winning, stay healthy, finally get to see this offensive line as a whole, finally get to see our running backs and our full complement of wide receivers and defensive players. Great news. He didn't do an update on James Houston, but the last that I heard is around mid-December. He did not do it in this game. They talked about Hendon Hooker. He said he's not ready yet to be activated to the roster. So update right there. Folks, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for the latest Lions news and rumors. Big game tonight, folks. Everybody watch it. I'll be on Twitter tweeting stuff out because obviously the Chargers are next game. So follow me on Twitter at Mike Kimber, Micro Mike, whatever you want to do, and we will get it done. With that said, folks, adios.